Welcome to our Maha Sadhana. We sort of have been on a wee bit of an odd schedule the last couple of years. Now, as we embark on a new, like I can't remember the last time I did on Maha Sadhana. We've done online, we kind of teamed back and forth, and we skipped a few. Just with COVID has always been an interesting way to recreate, and here we go, this beautiful segue into Samskaras, right? So what I find so interesting about COVID is it has been such a forced study of Samskaras, whether you realize it or not. So Samskaras, as we continue to look into this idea, this philosophy, this topic of yogic study, Samskaras are ingrained patterns of behavior that, that have been basically bestowed upon our life in some way, in a conscious way, that now we habitually act from those. So you can look at Samskaras as cultural impressions that you have taken on as your own, and that affects how you think and see the world. These also are patterns of behaviors that have been an effect of a certain instance, maybe some kind of situation that you were in that somehow you reacted to, and now forevermore you react to. Also, it can be a little day-to-day habits that you do from, I was listening to an interview, actually I think it was Brene Brown and James Clear, who wrote Atomic Habits, and he mentioned a habit, he mentioned a habit of pulling out barbecue tongs and clicking them together, and it made me laugh out loud. It's like, everyone freaking does that. You pull them out and click, click. I was like, yes, just something that's subconscious, but so, doesn't have any positive, negative, but it is a habit. But somehow, all of the Samskaras, one thing that has been very enlightening to me is that all of these Samskaras are by choice. They were not something that just we started doing subconsciously, we've always done. At one point, there was a choice. We did say to ourselves with a conscious action, this is how I'm going to do this. And so, even though it was a conscious choice to behave in these ways, it now has become a subconscious action and reaction that we now exhibit in our day-to-day lives. So it's very hard, number one, to identify them, to then rewrite them, and start moving from a different place. But at the same time, it's almost like when I tell everybody in class, well, if you were able to touch your toes as a kid, you'll be able to do it as an adult. It'll just take you, a little while to find out. If you could ride a bicycle before, you're going to be able to ride it again. So if you made that choice to begin with, you will be able to make that choice and rewrite it. So there is a little uplift there. Now, to me, what I think we'll be struggling the most with is really identifying. It's like the barbecue talk. I never in a million years would have thought of that, of all things, as a pattern of behavior, because it's so small, so insignificant, so slight, so harmless, just so automatic, just like a robot thinking. Let's go. So to me, again, circling back to this whole COVID and how we've been doing things, it has been an amazing practice of self-study of our natural behaviors, and almost a just traumatic wiping of the slate clean. I don't even at this point remember what I used to do. For me also, with COVID and having small children right before, so much rewriting of patterns and behaviors, that up is down and down is up and sideways is inside out and outside in. It is very hard to me to even relate to, what did I used to do. It was just me back in the 2000s and in the 90s. What did I do? You know, what was my habitual behaviors then? What was my thinking then? So in the practice today, what we'll do is what I'm going to attempt to do is to do some poses in a natural sequence that feels very ordinary, that might feel extremely familiar to you. We may even do it a few times. And then to do those same poses, but jumbled up in a whole new way, and how that feels. So that we start to see these patterns of behavior that we exhibit on our mats, which we do. We all, as well, first yogis, we all know, we go to warrior one. Everyone's brain probably goes to a certain part of the body. And you go, I know as teachers too, you go through your checklist. And whether that starts at the top and you work your way down, whether it starts with your feet, whether it starts, you know, for me, it always starts with my hips, radiates outward. So you go through this list. And so what I'm hoping today is to kind of create some awareness of what are those patterns? You know, do you habitually always go through the pose this way and set yourself up? And then doesn't even matter if it's positive or negative, but just what if you came in from a different angle, from a different direction, mixed it up, how does that feel? And again, doesn't matter if it feels better or worse, it's just taking notice of that. And then the idea then is to translate that into our everyday. What if I approach this situation differently? What if instead I did this? And then just to hold the two up together and compare. And then from there you can start to make a plan of action, whether which one's more serving or less, or how that, you know, caused you to see certain things or not. So that's my hope today, is just to, again, starting off this whole study of samskaras with just a way to create awareness, which is sometimes very hard. You know, we believe what we believe, we feel what we feel, and it is a product of so much history. And history that we, you know, may not have even been personally a part of, but we just carry on into this lifetime. And so for us to untangle that and to really kind of dive through it and see what is the blockages to total fulfillment, to reaching fullest and highest potential, to liberation of the soul and free ourselves from suffering, takes a lot of chipping away. And unfortunately, we're not chipping away with dynamite or a jackhammer. It's more like using a hammer and chisel. Just one little grain at a time. To go deep within and discover the true nature of ourselves inside and moving from that place. Rather than these samskaras, which we can often think of samskaras too as just outside influences like the devil and angel on our shoulders, that conscience that's saying, you should do this, you shouldn't do this, you should do this. It's like, wait a minute, shh, we don't need the cacophony of, in the choral, or the choir telling, you know, the board of directors telling you what to do. Like, what is it that's really inside? And why we're choosing to do this? Does it truly make sense? You know, for us and for our personal goals and for our karma. So, whoa. All right, so let's get back into the moment. Yeah, wow. It's like, oh, that's a lot. I don't even know if I want to drink the orange juice or not. I can't. Right? I know it gets to be a lot, but we'll see. So we will start traditionally coming into a comfortable seated mat and creating some awareness within of our actions. So hands to the lap of the knee, spine free and clear, head over the sit bone. And just letting the breath flow easy in and out. Nice long breath. Pressing the tongue to the roof of the mouth, opening up the psychic channels in and around the body. Just notice when you settle into your seat, when you settle onto. What are the general feelings that come up? And when I say feelings, I mean feelings in the body, the mind, and deep within spirit, self. Just notice where your focus lies, even in its habitual pattern. Place. Again, to notice how the breath moves through the body. Noticing if you tend to send it into certain areas consciously. We'll make our commitment to stay mindful throughout our practice. We can layer onto any intention of your choosing. We'll close our palms together in front of our spiritual hearts, sealing in with the chanting of slowly begin to open your eyes, blink your eyes apart as you gaze into focus. Let's gently bring our hands to our knees. Inhale, roll your chest towards the ceiling, look up towards the sky. And exhale, holding your knees round and curl the spine as you have those knees. Inhale again, open the chest, look up towards the ceiling. And exhale, round and pull the back, the chin to the chin. One more time, inhale. Feel that heart towards the ceiling, head falls back. Exhale. And then take that left hand behind you, expand your right leg out to the side, and inhale, lift it up. Rolling the right arm around. Nice big circles. Turn it around so our orientation is to the front of the neck. The same. And then inhale, take that right arm over the head towards the back left corner of your mat. And as you exhale, drop your hips and lean over to the right. Full side stretch here. And then turn to face your right leg, folding forward, posture Uttanasana. And then take the hands out in front of you, folding over both legs. And then from here, right arm can sweep across and come into a twist, laying the right ear on the mat. Left arm can either stay over the head or bring the arm to the side, or the left hand can come behind the back or over to the right hip. And then continue to reach the left arm behind the back. As you take the right arm over the head, twist to the right. right knee and turn to look over the right shoulder. And then both arms come towards the sky. Cross the ankles, interlace the fingers, arms reach up towards the ceiling, chest open, and then exhale, round and curl, chin to chest. Inhale, arms reach up and overhead. And exhale, hands around triangle. One more time. Inhale. And exhale, hands come forward. And then we'll release the right hand slightly behind the right hip. Take the left leg out, left arm hands up, variation of Samskaras, and bring that left arm over. Inhale. And again. Nice big circles here, warming up a little spine. And then as the left arm turns back over the head, drop the hips down and then toss the upper body over to the left. So, for those of you who are at home, I'm going to do my best, and then we'll turn to face the left leg to keep our orientation the same. So at this moment, we will all identify the front of your mat and then the back of your mat. And then there will be a right side and a left side. So it doesn't matter if you're facing the back of your mat, it will still be the original left side. Does that make sense? As long as we have our front and back correct, I think we'll be okay. So here in the studio, the front of the mat is the north, the back of the mat is the south, the right side of the mat is the east, and the left side of the mat is the west. We're going to bring the hands out in front of us and hold. I'll try to say it several different ways to make sure we're all on the same page. And we can take this left arm right underneath, twist, right arm can lift, or right knee can come behind, back, forward. And then we're going to windmill our arms overhead, left arm reaches up, and we rise up, and then switch side, left hand down, right arm comes over, twist to your left. So right hand now is on the left leg, left hand is behind the back. And then let's take the right hand back, left hand comes back, we're going to bring the feet together, chin and chest. And you lift the hips up. And then exhale, place the hips down towards the middle of your mat. So you might slide your hips back slightly. Knees together, arms overhead, and just an easy forward fold. So again, mixing some things up, trying to spark some new thoughts in the body. And hands over the shoulders. Gently roll up through the spine. We're going to rock and roll a few times. Okay, a little too far. We're going to rock back and forth just a few times. And on your next rock forward, so you can come all the way into forward fold. All the way over. And upside down. Ask your body, bend the knees, move the head. Make it even. Pulse the chest down the arms. And release those hands, soften the knees, so let's roll up one vertebrae at a time. Stack the knees over ankles, hips over knees, shoulders over head. Hands come to the heart space, deep breath in and out. Reconnect with your intention. So now, typical sun salutation. So inhale, take up as much space as you can, arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Ardha Uttanasana, inhale, hands connect your shin to the floor. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, right leg steps back, drop your feet down, look up towards the sky. And left foot join with the right foot, lower down, knees, chest, and chin. Inhale, through, cobra. Feet on the floor. Exhale, press back down. Let's take an extra breath here. Just lengthening through the whole body, grounding through hands and feet. And then inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, right foot steps forward, round the left knee, lift up towards the sky. Exhale, folding upside down, Uttanasana. Inhale, arms reach out as you rise up, palms touch. Exhale, hands come down to the center. Inhale, arms open it up. Exhale, fold it forward. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Notice where your thoughts go. Inhale, left foot steps back, drop your knee, lift your chest. Exhale, right foot swings left, lower knees, chest and chin. Inhale, bring over. Exhale, press downward facing dog. Inhale, the left leg's gonna lift up. Exhale, left foot steps forward, drop the right knee. Inhale, heart open. Exhale, right foot jump with the left leg. Inhale, arms reach out and overhead. Exhale, and come down to the center. So mixing it up. Inhale, arms straight up and overhead. As you exhale, step the right leg back into lunge. Straighten your knee. Inhale, reach your arms over your head. Lean back. Exhale, sweep your hands to the back of your mat as you come into lunge facing the back of your mat. Drop your left knee, look up to the sky. Exhale, right foot joins the left foot as you lower all the way down onto your belly. Cobra pose here. Inhale, lift the chin down. Exhale, tap the toes, press back, downward facing dog. Take down dog for one breath. Exhale. Inhale. Bring your left foot to the right side of the mat. So you're going to replace your right foot with your left, and then take your right leg all the way up to the side. As you exhale, bend your right knee. Place your right foot behind your left foot, and then extend your left leg into Vashisthasana. Good. Bring that right arm by the ear. Now as you exhale, let's bring the right hand. So bring the right hand down towards your right thigh, drop your hips slightly, and bring your right hand behind your right foot. Left hand behind your left foot. Step your right foot forward. Inhale, upward facing tabletop. Good. And then we're going to switch our hands and drop. Dip your hips slightly. Turn your right hand towards the back of the room. Extend your right leg. Lift your hips up. Vashisthasana. And then exhale, left hand comes down. Separate your hands, foot distance apart. Take your left leg up to the ceiling. Three-legged dog. And then exhale, bring the left foot forward. Drop the right knee. Low lunge. Good. Exhale. Slowly extend the right leg. Sweep the hands to the right side of your mat. Roll onto the ball of the left foot. Inhale, high lunge, arms overhead. Exhale, hands come down, left foot steps forward to the right foot, hold upside down. Closing out the sun salute. Inhale, arms overhead as you rise up. Exhale, hands to your heart. To the left side. Inhale, arms straight up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, left leg comes back, arms overhead. Exhale, sweep the hands down to the left foot, roll onto the ball of the right foot, drop the right knee, lift the arms. Exhale, hands come down, left foot comes to the right foot, turn around this time halfway down. Inhale into Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, facing the back of the mat. Exhale, pull up and back, you come into downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in, deep breath out. Good. Now you replace the left foot with the right foot. So step your right foot across. Inhale, your left leg lifts up. Bend your left knee. And then let that foot fall behind. Extend the right leg, Vashisthasana. Left arm over the head. And then we're going to dip the hips down. Turn your hands to face the front of your mat. You can go into upward facing plank or even Urdhva straight legs. Go ahead, exhale. Bring your right foot down. Turn your left foot around. Inhale. Vasisthasana on the left. And then right hand comes down. Separate your hands shoulder width apart. So move the left hand out of the way. And then bring the right foot through. Drop your left knee down. And look up to the side. And then exhale, extend both legs as you slowly transition to the left leg. Go onto the ball of the right foot. Inhale, arms in. Exhale, fold forward. Your left foot comes to the right foot. Uttanasana. Inhale, arms come out of your head. Come back to first. Deep breath. Standing poses. Inhale. Traditional, arms up overhead. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, Uttanasana. Exhale, step forward, jump back through Chaturanga. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Into Adho Mukha Svanasana. 3 breaths in downward facing dog. Finding balance and stability, length and strength. And noticing, are you in your habitual patterns here and now? And then we'll bend the right knee, press into the left heel. Let's take this right leg up. Go ahead, extend the toes towards the sky. And you can feel free to bend that knee and open the hip. And then as we exhale, let's take that right foot forward into warrior one. Round the left heel. Arms can sweep forward as you rise up into this nice, deep, extended lunge, pressing into the back foot. Again, noticing where you tend to start. For me, it's always in the hips. I'm going to radiate from there, extending through the spine, balancing the weight of my feet. Breathe in and out. And then as we exhale, let's bring the palms together, lift the back heel, take the left elbow across as you twist into Parasvanasana. I'm just noticing where you go, where you focus, where you land. And then we'll open into the very predictable warrior two. Ground the left heel, heel the arms open so you're parallel to the floor. And do a few pulses here. So the beauty is testing out how it feels in this pose, where you are. And reversing. Right arm lifts, the left arm goes back. Keep that right knee deeply bent. So through center as you tilt to side angle. Left arm guided here, gazing up at the sky. And then feel free to move that left arm down to the ground to extend the right leg into triangle pose. Hand can stay on the floor or on the shin. And then hands frame that right foot, lift the left heel, right foot points left foot, chaturanga, nice and slow. Inhale through Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, or feel free to skip this part. Exhale out. Downward facing dog. So we'll just try all that out on the second side and noticing very familiar to our bodies and bones and muscles. So again, the left knee press into the right heel. Take that left leg up. And again, notice if you want the tendency to bend the knee, you can. And then exhale, warrior one. Left foot steps forward, right heel plant. Arms come over to the head. And into that front knee. Breathe in and out here. Squaring with a steady breath. Steady your balance. And then palms come together as you lift your back heel. Right elbow comes across as you twist. Gaze from the inside out, shoulders in. Balance in the pelvis. And then expanding the arms, rounding the back foot as you come into warrior two. Roll gentle pulses each orient. Belly in, over back. Again, keenly aware of where you go, Press that right away. Over to left. And tilt as the spine tilts to the right. Pressing the outer edge of your feet. And the hands come down. Take that left to the right. Gyro left. Inhale. Exhale. Down. Press it down. Forward. Step walk or flip your feet to your hand. Inhale, adjust the arm. Exhale. And let's take those arms out overhead. One step. Exhale. Finish wipe the slate clean. We're taking the right foot over the left, grabbing a hold of the left arm, and lean to the right. Center, keep the legs as they are, and lean the opposite way. Squeeze those inner thighs. Inhale, let's come to center. As we exhale, fold forward, keep the legs crossed. We'll bring the right hand under the chest and take that left arm up to the sky. And then bring that left hand down. We'll take the right arm up to the sky. And then the hands come down. And gently roll up to your back. As the head comes up, inhale, arms overhead. Stabilize that left leg. Exhale, interlace the fingers, right leg steps back. You're Virasana 1 with the heart and chest. Good, left front knee. And exhale, palms come together. We're going to shift back, so straightening the left leg. Pivot to the right, hands come to your heart. Pivot all the way to the back of the mat. Lift your back heel. If you bring your left elbow over your right, come into perfect Parasvanasana on the right side. Expand the arms. We're going to take this right hand, sweep it down to the left. Interlace the fingers, point the index finger forward. The Kali Mudra as you rise all the way up, chest up. And as you exhale, press off the back leg, stand on the right leg. Tula Dandasana, balance and stay. So squeeze the wrists together. Start to tilt forward. Until you can form that letter T, squeeze the hands tight. And then as you exhale, we're going to bring the right hand to the outside of the right foot. Reach the left leg back and down, left arm sweep side to your side. Good, and then toss the left arm all the way back to reverse. And sweep down in front as you come into 1, 2. Open your sleeves. Good. And slowly kick the left arm underneath the right. Grab the palms together. And bend that left knee. We're going to take the left foot over the right leg, facing the back of your mat in equal toes. Squeeze down. Nice and tight, elbows down. And as you release, you're just going to slowly place that left foot to the right side of your right foot. Inhale, arms come overhead. Grab a hold of your left wrist and lean to the right. Inhale, come to center. Switch your hands, grab hold of the right wrist and lean to the left. Steady your breath. Notice where your mind is going. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, folding forward, arms open. Hopefully, your mind is a little scattered. Now, just a wee bit on the confused side. Let's take the left hand in front of your chest. Take that right arm, open it up. So twisting. And your right hand comes down. We'll switch. The left arm's open. And the left hand comes down. Inhale, arms out and overhead. Interlace the fingers here at the top. Turn the palms outward, chest mudra. Lift the left leg, send that left leg back. You're Virasana 1, the right foot in front. We take the left leg back, plant it, then the right knee, stand to the front. So the left feels on the mat, chest is lifted. Look up at the sky. And as you exhale, when you straighten the right leg, palms come to prayer at the heart. Turn the toes to the side, to the right side of your mat for straddle. Then lift the right heel, turn the toes to the front, and then right elbow cuts across. Or revolving, sliding. Breathing. Expand the arms. Take that left hand down and around, interlace the fingers. Calling the front here, open the heart and chest. And then bend the back knees. Give yourself a little power to lift up and then tilt forward. Uddiyana. Now seamlessly taking your left hand beside your left foot, reach back through the right heel. Open to the right side, come into side angle. And inhale, reverse warrior. Press that big down, down, down. Reach back, look up. And exhale, sweep the hand in front. Come back to warrior 2. And exhale. Bring the hands. Oh, no. The right arm under the left. And then bend your right. See, I start going patterns of behavior. Right leg comes across and over. Squeeze everything down like the wristies. Squeeze down. Eagle. So in the practice of Samskaras, you can never let up. You have to constantly continue to work hard, stay mindful, every moment. This time, let's just release the right foot to the left. Inhale, arms to bow overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Grab your big toes, lengthen your spine, and exhale, pull your feet. Shoulders away from your ears. Sadhana. And now let's lift our chest. And then you should exhale, release your hands. Soften your knees and rock up each hands back and forward. Now follow me. What we're going to do here, you might want to sit up for a second and watch this so you don't get confused. You're going to rock back into child's pose. You're going to come back, choose the shoulders, bring the arms around. And again. So it's just a little backward roll. So you can choose the shoulder. When you choose the shoulder, get the slow motion. You're going to
kind of move your head to that side so your knees can come down. So I'm going to lean my head slightly to the right, so my knees will come over my left shoulder. Yeah, well, I guess they come around. They kind of lean to my right. Yeah, they come over to my right side. Kind of moves a little around. In my mind, it works a different way, so don't overthink it. Just lean to one shoulder and just kind of flop over. You're in child's pose now. Look forward, tuck your toes under. Lift your hips downward facing dog. Nice. Let's take that right leg up towards the sky. Split those hips apart. Bend that knee. And we're going to take that right knee over to the right shoulder and place it outside the right wrist. Hands continue to move to your left as you come into straddle pose. Arms extend your vertical as you hang upside down. Walk your hands over to your right leg. And then lift your chest, turn your right toes to the front of the mat. Left hand is going to start reaching out in front, or you can just leave it to the side of the right foot. Bend this left knee and lash straight into your half rib. Yes, front strap. How did that feel? And then left hand comes down, left knee tucks behind, right knee. Right arm comes up as you twist into Ardha Chandrasana. And then we'll take this left hand to the outside of the calf or the foot. Extend. Excuse me, left hand to the outside of the right foot or calf. And then take the right arm back. We'll take this right arm up and over to the hold of the right leg. Open the left arm and turn to the right side of the mat. And in straddle position. Right, and then let's take this right foot across, facing the right side of your mat into Samskaras. So stacking the shin bones. And exhale over your legs. Inhale, slowly roll up. Now we're going to take our feet and tuck them back by our hips, holding on, so more or less Sadhana. And then you're going to rock back on your left shoulder to turn to the back of your mat. So move your step out of the way. You're going to come back and do a quarter turn to the back of your mat. Don't ever think. So now you're facing the back of your mat. You're going to bring if you can, you might even wrap your legs up into Padmasana, lotus pose, or just keep your feet crossed. We're going to go into Chalasana. Hands between the knees and the feet, just a little hip lift here. Leaning forward, lifting the knees towards the chest, even if the legs don't come all the way up. You can keep this around the floor, just squeeze everything in. And then exhale, unlock the legs. Take the legs in front of you, Dandasana, arms over the head. And then exhale, Paschimottanasana, hold.
gently roll up through your spine. Find yourself in the middle of your mat, so you're going to scoot forward. And as we exhale, we're going to rock back all the way into child's pose once more. So we're going to rock onto your spine. Maybe bring the knees over to the other side, shoulder, arms overhead, child's pose. Nice. And Adho Krishnasana, downward facing dog. Facing the back of your mat. Lift that left leg up nice and high. Go ahead, bend your knee. And then we're going to take that left knee to the left shoulder and place it outside that left foot. And then walk the hands into straddle here. We're going to reach back, iris, pull that through. So I got my thumbs to the outside, palms on the floor. And if you can, with the hands like this, bring the head to the ground, looking on, and stand. A different type of tripod. I'll have to try again. Different type of tripod with the hands like so. Just enough to make you start all over again, right? Little changes too can throw you off. So even spinning the hands backwards instead of having them this way can make the difference. Further up, look down, lift our chest, walk our hands over to our left. Heel on our toes, left hand, good. Turn our left toes to the back of our mat, left hand stays outside to your left wrist. You can bend the spine knee. Launching over up into your half moon. And we'll tuck that right knee behind the left. Left arm sits up and around. Right arm cuts across the left thigh. Right arm cuts in the left. And you can take this right hand to the outside of that left foot. Extending the left leg, or you can just grab a hold of the calf. It doesn't have to straighten either. And extend the left arm. And then take a hold of this left foot. Moving to the side, so squaring. Whoa! Come on, tummy. Work for me. Lifting up. And as we exhale, bring that left leg across and in front. Stack the shin bones. Pull the sits bones down. And tilt forward. Hands can either be back beside you or in front. Bring those ankles back towards the hips, and now we'll do that quarter turn back to the front of your mat. Shouldn't say back to the front. We'll do that quarter turn to the front of your mat. So lean to your right shoulder, and then poof, come back. If you're like me, you'll be a little bit off. You're not no, and then Talasana. So Talasana. Let me talk a little bit about that. So you can release the hip. You can do this with the legs in half lotus, hands between the feet and the knees lifting up, or with the ankles just crossed, hands between the feet and the hips. Lift the hips up and squeeze the knees in and up. And then you can practice lifting one foot at a time, and then both feet. Okay, go ahead and do a little lift of your choice. Holding about 3 breaths. Then lower down. Extend the foot, arms over the head, and fold forward. Gently rolling up, crossing your ankles, coming forward. So one thing I also wanted to incorporate today in our practice of Samskaras is this idea of doing something new. And so a lot of times it's just entering some of these tried and true poses in new and different ways. And sometimes it's doing something that we just tend to skip or we haven't done in a long time. We're going to look at headstand today. So many different variations of headstand. So first I want you to practice with the headstand that feels the most comfortable to you. So if you're not even well versed in headstand, go entry that feels like it would be the most comfortable. For a lot of people, that's the tripod. For me, it's on the forearms. So we'll take, how are you in your headstand? It's just not there. So what I'll do now, so everybody is welcome to kind of go on your own, but I'm going to talk through what I think of as like the beginning steps of headstand, and then we'll look at a different variation. So what you want to do in your headstand is, a lot of times we talk about measuring the arms, but the idea is that you want to have a good tripod, just like the tripod we have for the camera set up here. When you release your hands and place your fingers, you want to make sure you have a nice deep diamond. So not a shallow one like this, but a good diamond between your elbows and your hands. And then tap that pinky finger around. The next step is find a comfortable spot on your head, but just coming into a down dog. And then practice pressing and with the elbows to lift the head off the floor. You'll be able to do that with some ease and not a whole lot of stress. Because in the beginning, you want to feel the headstand not as much on your head, but more on your forearms. Yeah? Then from there, it's all a matter of, this is the way Dharma teaches beginners, is to bend a knee and to come into this static position. Pretty easy to balance and move your hips around here. And then maybe fall back, but it's also easier to fall forward. So try that. Or just come into your comfortable headstand that you may know and love, or maybe you haven't seen it in a while. And especially if you haven't seen it in a while, just pay attention to those habits. I know for me, especially when learning to do headstand, this is when we create those conscious patterns of behavior, these choices on how we want to enter and execute the pose. We create places that feel safe to us. So for me, I know when I come up into my headstand, I usually have a spot where I hold my focus and my gazing point. It's always the same. It's just about 16 inches in front of my nose on the mat. So for those who have gone into your headstand, there's many different variations to mix it up. And maybe today, just practicing headstand is mixing it up. And as I demonstrated earlier with the hands backward, that can be really crazy. If you're used to practicing on your forearms, maybe try tripod. We'll take just a few more minutes if you want to explore
a different variation, maybe even coming into it from a different way. So for example, instead of coming up into the stag leg, you can try this tripod and bring the knees onto the backs of the arms like crow pose, and then pressing the legs. Like that way. And that's also a nice way to then prepare to come down, and instead of landing on your feet, lifting up into crow pose. In this way, is your weight in your hands?
I still use my arms an awful lot. I mean, yes, there's going to be more weight on the head and neck, but I'm really actively pushing. And really from that moving on the arms, when I'm pushing with my hands, I'm feeling that squeeze around my tummy. And that's really where my lift is. And then to lift my legs, you really have to think of the same areas where you get the lift in your chaturanga. Push down to lift those legs up. Yes. Samskaras, working with Samskaras, doing things a little differently, discovering something new, discovering the old dog can learn new tricks. So this is the perfect example. You can do these things. You can try. And we will continue to do that in my classes. I want to kind of push it, the envelope a little further and see what we can do. Because it's so easy for us to cultivate that santosha and say, well, this is just who I am. This is just part of me. This is how I act. I'll just let that be. I'll just let that sit for a minute. I mean, I know for myself also that it, and as you age, you get to be a little more that way too. Like, I think this is just me. This is just part of me. This is like this is my life. And you forget that you're as malleable as you are. What I love best about this moment is now everyone's gone back. I think at first everyone thought it was over, but it is not over. It's still there. It's so good. And one thing too that's so brilliant about Shirshasana is that it inverts our chakra system. So right now your root chakra is up towards the sky, and your head chakra is grounded. And it's usually the root chakra that's the one that's clinging the most to those samskaras, clinging the most to habit, for fear of being awesome, for fear of being unsafe, for being unprovided for. You know, our root chakra is all about our security and safety. So when we get that root chakra, we open it up. It's kind of literally like getting our head out of our asses. It's like, come up for air and look around you. It doesn't always have to work this way. It can be different. You can do things in a different way and still live and survive. And can you imagine? You could thrive. And then kind of grounding in that crown chakra so that you don't feel quite so overwhelmed. Well, then what happens? It's like gives you a sense of calm there in your spiritual path, very directly. So to counter Shirshasana, you can come into child pose, but also bring your hands under your chin. I'm going to take a moment to relax here. So good on the nerve, good on the block. Relax this little neck and those muscles. And slowly release. Let's just cross our ankles. Excuse me. Come into seated position. Let's bring the soles of the feet together. So now, excuse me, in Baddha-Konasana, over the legs, pressing your knees out, forehead. So that's your legs. gentle. Let's open our legs into this particular pose, which is neither here nor there. It is a Parmasana, a tortoise preparation. So we're going to ground our feet and lift our chest up and press our knees out. So kind of like holding, I think of my feet like in the stirrup. Pressing the knees down. We're going into some Parmasana variation. So take your left hand and turn back to the front. And the same meditation. Take your left hand, bring it underneath. Keep your right arm up. And maybe take those hands and go around that left. And wrap those arms. And grab those feet again. Extend the spine. And then we'll do the other side. So we're going to take the right hand underneath. And take the left arm. And then the hands grab around. Right. And in those arms. And grab those feet. And then we'll take both arms through. So we're going to take those hands back underneath the thighs. Reaching to the back corners of your mat. And then pressing your thighs into your arms, into your full straddle. Samskaras. Chin towards the floor. Breathe. And come out of this pose. I mean, right? So I like to turn my hands over, soften my elbows, and then work my hands out from underneath. Roll myself up, and we'll bring the knees together. Hold the legs, and let's come on to your back, knees into the chest, the bottom of Sadhana. If you can, grab the opposite elbow and squeeze. Try to flatten your whole spine. Breathe into the tummy. And then we'll hold the right knee, slowly release the left leg down to the mat. Just squeeze that right knee down. And then left hand comes to the hip. You're going to take the first two fingers around the big toe and extend that right leg up. Shoulder to relax. Exhale, spoon that forehead up to the knee as you slide your left leg along, or your left arm along the left leg. And slowly release the other body down. I'm going to take that right knee and bring it beside the right rib cage into variation of happy baby. And then we'll sweep that shin across. You can grab the foot and the knee with the left and right hand. Just a little leg cradle here, lying on your back. So just the sweeping of the shin bone across, back and forth in front of the body. If you can scoop up that leg and slide the elbows. Another option here is to take that left elbow underneath the right ankle and take the right arm behind the head and clasp both the wrists as you bring that upper body back down. Another step is to take your first two fingers of your right hand
And grab your big toe of your right foot. Left hand comes onto the shin and lay back down. And then from here, we're going to unlock our right arm. And as you're probably guessing, we're going to bring that right leg behind the right shoulder and maybe behind the head. It helps to bend this knee. You can bend your left knee and then we extend the left leg. How about that? Exactly. I know. That's it. That's it. Especially when you're looking at yourself in the mirror. So low. Alright. And we will slowly release. Take the left hand to the outside of that right foot. Right arm is going to open to the right side, and the right leg is going to cross to the left. And now we're going to twist. With your legs extended, you can't hold on to your right foot. You can loosen it up and just grab your calf or your knee. And now take both arms over your head, sweep your right foot to your left foot, and roll onto your tummy facing the back of your mat. Yeah, so now you're facing the back of your mat, your arms are over your head. On your tummy, you're going to lift your right arm and your left leg up. Lift and reach. And lower. Now lift your left arm and your right leg. Lift up. And lower. Now you're going to lift your legs and your arms. Belly in. Now bring your feet together, open your arms to the side, lift up Samskaras, arms out to the side, feet together. And then exhale, hands back, legs up, chest up. And then grab your feet, stay up, kick up, down, kick and lift, kick and lift, kick and lift. And exhale. Slowly lower down and look to your right. And relax on your spine. Let's bring the hands underneath the elbows. Keep the knees on the floor. Press up into tabletop position. Inhale into the cow spine. Exhale into the cat. Inhale, cow spine. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. And then inhale, neutral position, tuck your toes, and bring your hips up nice and high into downward facing dog. And then we'll look through our hands. We're going to jump through to laying down, so bend your knees. Sweep your feet through your legs as you come onto your back, knees come into your chest. And then lower your right leg, keep that left knee to the chest, keep pulling it in nice and tight. Breathe deeply. And then right hand comes to the hip. Take a hold of your left big toe, extend your left leg up, press your left hip down, shoulder flat to the mat.
And exhale, forehead comes up to the knee. Pull the forehead into the knee. Keep the tailbone grounded. Knee, leg extensions on the floor really keeps you honest in your forward fold. And then exhale, bring down. And then we'll bend that left knee. Excuse me, you've got the side or left rib cage. And then you can bring that leg in front of you, a couple rocks side to side. Hold the foot and knee with the hands. Until maybe you can wrap the arms all the way around the leg, foot inside, the elbow, spine is flat. And then you can try other variations like hooking the left ankle underneath the right elbow, left arm is behind the head. Or left fingers grab a hold of the left big toe. Continue to keep the head behind the head. Release the right one down. And then we can release, working for our Yogasana. Left leg comes behind the left shoulder. And it's helpful to bend this right knee and trying to get this foot behind the head. I recommend working your shoulder through. Thank you. And exhale, slowly unwrap. Take your right hand across the top of your left foot. Left arm opens, and then we're going to take this left leg across as we twist to the left. And then both arms go over the head, sweep your left foot side to right, to roll onto your tummy, center yourself on the mat. Arms are reaching out in front of you. Now let's take the right hand and grab the right foot. Left arm and leg stay extended. And as you inhale, kick your right leg off the floor, lifting your chest. And then maybe lift the left arm. Engage. Lower down. And then we'll switch sides. So take your left hand back, grab a hold of your left foot. Inhale, kick your left leg up. And lift your right arm. Kick and reach. Steady breath. And lower down. Both hands come back. Holding on to your feet. Inhale, kick your legs down. Both legs down and up. Lift those thighs into the chest. And exhale. Lower down and look to the left. As you breath. Breathe on up. And then bring those hands underneath the shoulders. Knees on the floor, so we press up into tabletop position. Inhale. Spin your hands around. Into that house. Exhale. Inhale, open the chest up. Exhale, round and one more time. Flip the hands around as you come to a position. Walk your hands up. Ustrasana, camel pose. Hands come onto the sacrum. Lift your heart. Maybe bring those hands to the feet. Heart lifts, head reaches back. Rock in the nose. Hands come to the sacrum as you begin. Exhale, hips come to the heels, knees come together, Ardha Pramasana, arms are going to head. As you exhale, flat back forward, pinky fingers touch. Hips to the heels, forehead to the mat, lift your wrists. Breathe into the belly. And then as you exhale, circle the hands around to the feet. Tuck your chin, bring your forehead, kiss your knees, crown of the head stays on the mat. Heels together as you lift your hips up into Samskaras, rabbit pose. Straighten your elbows, belly in. Little work. Under the heels, gently. All over the way. And then we'll sit back on our ankles, lift our knees. Maybe you can bring your hands to your knees. Lift your ankles, or lift your knees without pressuring your ankles. And we'll come forward and do just the opposite. Tuck your toes under. Sit on your, tuck your toes under and sit on your heels and place your fingers just move your palms up, scoop the belly in. Inhale, stand up. And as we exhale, we're going to come back into tabletop position for a short man pose. So, this position, you're going to bring your right foot in front of your left ankle and place your right knee down. So you have this kind of figure four. Now, for some of you, you might be able to bring the foot up into lotus pose. Good. Okay, so let's try it here in lotus. So now that you have lotus pose, there's one more step. You're going to take this left foot, come on your fingertips. You're going to bring your left foot in front of your right knee. So if lotus is not happening, you can keep your foot there and bring your left, you can still bring your left foot in front. So it's a little easier, it looks like this. Or if you're in lotus pose, I don't know if I can show you what it looks like. I guess. Cool. Exactly. So if you want to learn how to stand up, try short man. You have to reprogram your whole sense of balance here and where that is. What are your feet now? It's your knee and the left ball of your foot. Or the ball of your left foot. So, good. So now, try that a little bit, and then what we'll do is we'll actually unlock this left leg, bring the left knee back down. So now the left knee and the right knee are in one line side to side. This right foot is either here inside the knee or up in the left hip, and we'll come forward in this spider variation. So it looks kind of like bound tree on your throat, on your tummy. You can take your hands behind your back. Rows down underneath the elbows, press yourself up. Swivel this left foot across. So you still have your right foot in half lotus. Extend your left leg up and come over. If you can take that foot with your right arm. Encourage Pashanottanasana. Squeeze and stretch. And inhale, let's lift up. Let's take this left arm here and bring it in line with your left foot. You can either keep your right hand behind you or you might want to let go. We're going to roll onto the side of your left foot and come into Vashisthasana, tree pose. Or you can have that right hand behind you in the bound version. Good. Nice. And then we'll slowly bring that down. Extend your legs. Bend both knees. You're going to come all the way onto your back. And let's grab our feet, Baddha-Konasana, push your knees out. Take your feet towards the ceiling, pull your knees down. And then peekaboo your head up. Take a hold of your calves. Bring your shoulders through. So you can work one at a time. So whichever leg is the more flexible. So for me, that's my right foot. So I'm actually going to start, we're going to do both legs. I'm going to start with my left, not as flexible. And so I'm going to bring my left shoulder through and under my leg. And then when I bring my right foot behind, it's going to cross behind. Really work on getting those shoulders through, and then you can work on clasping your hands under your bottom. My butt's too big. There we go. Release. Put your feet on the floor, arms overhead. Take a little bridge pose just to bring some breath in the tummy. And roll down, cross your ankles, give yourself a little rock forward as you come back into tabletop. Inhale, out. Exhale. So we're so accustomed to doing this cat and cow at the beginning of practice, but it really can be a nice reset at the end. Changing up the routine a little bit one more time. And we will practice our short hand on this one. So coming to neutral position, take your left foot in front of your right. So the knees are side by side. You can bring this left foot into half lotus. And then we'll take this right. So that's where we're going to lean onto the left knee and bring the right ankle in front. Practicing. Yes. Yes. So I hope that when we get out of our patterns of behavior, if you're trying something new this quarter, that it'll be kind of as fun and silly as this is here and now. And you'll read it with the same sort of grace and humor rather than the opposite.
Now let's try stretching. So we're going to bring that right knee back to the floor, so apart from the left. Left foot can be in straddle or in front of the knee. And now we're going to come forward into this tree pose with the hands behind that. And forward or looking down. Scooping the tailbone under. Feeling all the openness. Let's look at the foot here. Yeah, eventually it'll roll over, so you'll be back on the sole of your foot. Ooh, yeah. Eventually. And then we'll bring the hands underneath the elbows as we press ourselves back up. I'm going to take this right foot, cross it behind the left knee. So you can sit back down and then take the right leg out in front of you. For Paschimottanasana, you can bind the lotus. So it's Ardha, Bandha, Ardha, Vada, Padma, Paschimottanasana. So Ardha, half, Vada, down, Padma is the lotus. Paschimottanasana is this extension. Extension of the west side of the body. Slowly rising up, we're going to do Vashisthasana again. So the right hand comes back. I find it helpful with my right foot and my right hand. One line, front to back. For me, I'm going to let go of my left arm. I don't know if I can do it now. Index. It also helps me to like squeeze from the inner thigh, from the inner bone of the belly as you lift up. Ooh. Good. And down. And now we're going to take our legs forward. We're going to go back. We're going to cross the opposite leg on top. And we're going to go into Purna Padmasana, full lotus. So hand back onto your spine. Grab a hold of the feet. Open and happy waving. And then let's try one more time here with Udrasana. So we're going to bring our chest up. This time, go with the foot that's not as flexible first as you work your shoulder through. And then, oh, sorry, opposite way. We're going to do this leg that is flexible. Wait a minute, that's this thing. The leg that is the most flexible, and then try to get the one that's not on the outside of that. It's hard to breathe. So, the next video. Let go. And now I'm going to open up my feet wider than my hips to take my bridge pose here, just piece it a little bit. Lower down. Let's do a little windshield-wiper side to side. Creating some more space in the guts. That really gunned me up. Ooh. They all have this up and help you center, bring your knees to center, rock up. And then we're going to try our Purna Padmasana, our full lotus here. So I suggest either side is fine. Notice which one you tend to choose. For me, I always choose right foot first and then the left. That is my default in Padmasana when I go into it. So I'm just being aware of that and I have to change it. Just going to roll with it. Then from here, I'm going to do a little bit of what we
practiced a minute ago with our short band. This one's called another mountain pose actually. You come forward in your lotus, balancing on your knees. Now, if you don't have lotus pose, you can do this in half lotus, just like this, or even with legs crossed. So from here, you're going to stand on your knees. And sometimes it even actually is easier than bring your arms over your head. It's helpful too if you have a water bottle. Sometimes you can give yourself a little stand in front of you. So try a few times for this mountain pose. Take a picture. You're good. Screenshot. I know that not happy. And then after a couple times, stay here. Maybe walk yourself backwards and stay in your lotus. We're going to come forward for spider pose. So rolling on into your tummy. Hands come again behind the back. So we visit this pose. So this is what we were really wanting to go into. Scoop that tailbone under, feel that big opening in your pelvis. At least for me it is, sometimes down in the thumbs. Sometimes when we get into these compression poses, into these big, funky, pretzel poses, it's just the only side of ourselves and hiding. And the hands come underneath your elbows. Press yourself out to the tabletop. And we'll turn back on our hips. Let's extend our legs straight out to the side. Full straddle and walk forward. Feels so good here. Circulation out to your toes. And inhale, walk ourselves back up. And then we'll try our lotus on the second side. So, whichever side you didn't start with, do that one. So for me, it's the left foot first, then the right. And we'll repeat with our mountain pose. So I find also with mountain pose, putting pressure, pressing your feet into your legs can help. Not just sort of trying to balance on the wing in a prayer, really pushing down, creating some traction. So for me here is where I find that some of those habits that I use in my standing Tadasana actually serve. Like if I could just reconnect with that feeling, then I can accomplish this. And this isn't quite so wild and out of control. And then we'll come forward into our spider pose. If your hands are in prayer, you're trying to inch them up towards the back of your head. Slowly, hands underneath your elbows, press yourself up to the table. Rolling down. And again, let's open those legs. I'm going to do some circles here. So rolling around in one direction, I'm actually going counterclockwise. Moving to the right, left, around. And then switching, going in the opposite direction. And next time you come to the right, stay to the right. Bring your left arm overhead, or even fold over your right leg. Look for freedom here. Up and choosing. And now take the arms up and over to the left side. Over. And then gather our legs together towards the middle of our mat. And move. Keep your arms over your head, stretch your feet in the opposite direction. Exhale. Open your arms, bend your knees. Do a little leg swinging action for final twisting. So if you want to watch me first, we're just going to drop the legs to the left and swing the right leg up. And then to go to the other side, swing your right foot back to its starting position. Knees roll through center, roll your sacrum on through it, and drop your knees to the right. Swing your left leg up. And then you just swing back and forth. Nice and easy. So you use the momentum from the belly, not from the legs. So you can join me when you feel ready. So you feel that Uddiyana Bandha, that belly lock. Slightly engaged at all times. Shoulders stay flat on the floor. Just swing the legs side to side. Inhale, exhale as you swing. Inhale to center, exhale as you swing to the other side. You can feel a little momentum helping you out as you come through center and then drop swing. And then drop swing. Take your time. Back and forth. A few more times. Just notice how this feels in the body. Like this, where your mind goes. And your heart. How about two more? Right, left, and right, and left. As you come to center, you can just drop both knees apart, feet together, hands come to your belly, and watch. Rise and notice how the breath feels in your body. Conscious of the movement. Underneath the breath. So taking your time as you transition into relaxation pose. Bring the legs together, slide the legs onto the ground. One, With each exhalation, feel your body releasing. Your inhalation goes up through the body. Exhale, down. Relax, and sing gently, easily, into the state of stillness. Mind, the state of stillness. Your heart, all is quiet. All at peace. Always your body. Return when you're ready to the relative state of consciousness. Mind brings back to your physical being. Notice the movement first in the chest and belly. And back. Spread into shoulders. And let the movement spread outward into your arms, into your legs, into your neck, into your head. Eventually, it goes out into your wrists, your hands, ankles, and feet. Finally, to those fingertips. Maybe from the inner source out. The depth of your spiritual nature into the finite being of your physical body. And taking the time to slowly make your way into a comfortable seated position. Just add some extra care to watch your body as it moves by itself in the way in which it's accustomed, the way in which it desires. Maybe not necessarily the way that you choose. Just notice. So we'll come into that seated position, hands again, and just rest anywhere that they fall. Watching from that role of the observer. To sit for a few moments in meditation. Wisdom of the practice in the body, perhaps awakenings that have occurred in the mind and the heart as well. You make the commitment to always stay mindful, always observe, always watch, inside, outside, always noticing actions, thoughts, feelings, always noticing reactions, behaviors, scripted, unscripted, behavior of yourself, but also behaviors of others, and that cycles around you. And so as we gather up our palms in front of our spiritual heart center, recognizing that the samskaras that have been impressed on our minds are interesting gifts from which we can then open and enjoy, learn and grow from. So take with you your intention that you set for this afternoon's practice. Go through this next quarter of our lives together. Liberating ourselves from our past and through our together. Love and peace. Serve our Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.